Are we on? We on. It says we on. Hey y'all, what's up? Happy Saturday. Happy get up and do nothing. Relax, rejuvenate, do whatever it is that you do on Saturdays. Typically, we are consumed with soccer on Saturdays. This is the one free weekend that we have, and I thought I was going to get to sleep in, but child, I was up at 6:30 this morning. So listen, I'm here with you again for another live panel discussion for the HVC 2021, and we're talking about single parent homeschooling. With me today, I have two speakers, Lakeisha Williams, and I'm gonna say it wrong, so I'm gonna have her say it. Say your thing. As a matter of fact, if you can change your name too, I should have had you do that first. But say your other name. The real.
Bro, for me, Real Moms of Homeschooling.
Real Moms of Homeschooling. I was going to say something else, y'all. And I told her the other day, I think that's so clever. It's a play on the Real Housewives, the real, like the whole reality situation. And I thought that was so clever. So let's see. And then I have Kimberly, y'all know Kimberly by now, child. Kimberly is all right. So Kimberly is a special needs homeschool, single parent. She can speak on marriage if she wants to. She can speak on like pretty much every subject that we are talking about in our live panel discussion. So thank y'all for joining me. Now listen, I'm going to tell you my story. Like I said, I was telling the ladies, I am not a single parent. I do have a husband. However, he travels, and excuse me, I'm looking at my phone to add the link to the other stuff. But I am married, so I'm not technically a single parent, but my husband travels mostly like Monday through Friday. So he'll be home, he'll travel Mondays, get home maybe Wednesday, and then he's back out and won't come home till Friday. So that's typically how our schedule is around here. And so it's kind of like I am a single parent. So I feel like I do have a little bit of knowledge on this subject, but I do still have a warm body to lay next to, on most nights. So I'm gonna let them ride this conversation. I'm gonna kind of just pop in here and there because this is their everyday, and it's not my everyday. But one of the things I wanted to talk about more than anything else is that people say it's a stigma, right? Not people say it's a stigma. There's a stigma that you cannot homeschool and be a single parent. And so I'm going to start with you, Lakeisha, only because I know you got a gang of kids. And so this is going to be this is going to be good for you. A lot of people thinking that they can't do it with just one kid, but you have multiple children. So I want you to tell me about your journey, how you even came to homeschooling as a single parent, and then where you went from there.
Gotcha. So I have 5 children. My oldest is now, she just turned 20 last week. I homeschooled her up through 8th grade, and then she wanted the high school experience. So then transitioned her to public school so that way she can have the high school experience. There was no problems with that. Something that I stress to my parents is making sure that you keep good records. No different than you would make sure that you collect the records. If they're enrolled in public school, you would do the same in your homeschooling journey. So that way you have transcripts and you're able to provide that if you decide that your child wanted to go back into the public school sector, there will be no problem with that transition. And then my 4 children that I currently homeschool are 9, 7, and 2. And it can be, it's an adventure every day. It's something different every day. No matter how I try to keep my schedule, because I am an OCD, a type A kind of personality. So that means that I really dwell and do well in structure and an organized environment. And my children have helped me to relax that a lot because they are the complete opposite of that. The more I try to have structure, the more they're like, yeah, no, you're going to relax and you're going to flow with us. So that's always the number one thing that I tell moms is that, number one, you have to flow with this journey. This is not something that you can put in a little box and check off. Your children have different personalities, especially if you have multiple children like I do. They have different personalities. Their learning styles are going to be different. The first thing that I go through with my moms when they're brand new to this journey is I help them understand and figure out what is their learning style, their kids' learning style, and their teaching style. Mm-hmm. because if you don't understand those two components, you're going to clash.
People forget though. And that's,
Yeah.
I'm big on that. People
Yeah.
forget the teaching style too. How you teach matters. How you
Exactly
get your information across is very important.
Right. Because if you're a visual teacher, but your child is, you know, a hands-on learner or a kinesthetic style learner or anything like that, can clash. So you have to learn, what does that look like? And that's something I talk about in Real Moms of Homeschooling in more detail. So that way you're able to then get curriculum that is, and you're able to teach in a way that works for you and it won't stress you out, and it works for your child to where they have an understanding. My 9-year-old is autistic, so that's a whole different level of learning for him, and it requires a great deal of patience. I have tried pretty much all the different homeschooling styles and the different teaching and learning styles, just to kind of gauge and play around with different things. I would say now that we are in year 7, this year has probably been the best year of our homeschooling experience, hands down. And that's because we did an unschooling approach. Last school year, the 2019-2020 school year, as for many of us, was crazy. Semester 1 was cool, but that semester 2 rolled around and the pandemic happened, and it just kind of threw a monkey wrench in everything. And I'm a big planner, but for us, the biggest thing that has worked for me is that when I would homeschool my children, it would be during the daytime, and then they would go to an after school program. So that way I got a break, and then I was also able to get some work done.
Oh, wow.
And that's something parents don't think about, is that you feel like you have to have your kids with you all the time, and you don't. Just because you're homeschooling does not mean that you are a distant person and you don't have a relationship with your zoned homeschool. I mean, with your zone public school, because you do. The only difference that you're not getting from your zone public school is the curriculum, is the academics, but you are still able to allow your child to enroll in the extracurricular activities and the after school programs that they have there. Also, if you have children that are under 12, they can go to the local daycare centers or the Boys and Girls Club, YMCA. They have after school programs. Those are going to be your lifesavers for sure, especially if you are not in a community that has a homeschooling co-op. Like, we don't have a homeschooling co-op here in South Atlanta. They're mainly on the north side or the east side of Georgia, and we don't have access to that. So for me, I've had to build my community. And that's another thing, as a single parent, you have to build your community. Do not be afraid to outsource and ask for help. This is something that you cannot do all by yourself. It's okay for you to bring in a tutor. I do that I'm not really, when it comes to certain levels of math, I don't have that patience level. I like that with my kids. So I don't mind bringing in a high school student or a college student who is really, really good in math, and pay them, and hey, they're doing the math. And then I'll focus on the other subjects. So just kind of look at your resources in your community. Definitely looking at the community colleges and seeing, how students can earn credit and help you out. Has been all of those different things have worked for me. And this literally just being a learning process. There was no book when I started this in 2014, not for single parenting, at least. A thing that I dealt with the first 2 years of homeschooling was I looked to all of the homeschooling moms I saw were all married. And I kept trying to recreate that world. And I'm like, okay, why isn't this working for me? Well, because there's not a second person. Even if it was just down to the financial piece, it was I had a hard time that first couple of years trying to navigate that, because I kept looking at other people's lives who did not look like mine. And it wasn't until I just had to sit down with myself and say, okay, what are different pieces that I can bring into, my world from theirs that does work. And then what doesn't, I have to kind of piece and work that together.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship has helped with the financial side of it and the freedom side of it. Because, when you're working in corporate, that's my background, working in corporate, that's literally 9 to 5. And I was salaried. So that means that really it was 9 to 5, but it wasn't, because you worked beyond the 5.
12 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. You work, beyond that. So literally those 12 and 14-hour days were no joke. So definitely I would say, if you are working for someone outside of the home, the first thing that you want to do is check with your employer and see where there's flexibility can happen. Have that transparent conversation with them. If they do not budge, or if it's not something that's available, this is where you have to kind of look at, okay, what skill sets do I have that I can monetize on? If you know how to do hair, it's time to go ahead and open up your in-home hair salon.
Listen.
If you know how to cook, it's time to sell plates in the community.
Yeah.
For me, the first 2 years, I did in-home childcare. That worked for me. My kids were able to have, the social interactions with children of their age, and I was able to earn income and stay at home. So it's just different things that you can do. I've always been a big advocate of having multiple sources of income. So I have like my primary business, which is helping moms build their businesses, but then I've also have my hands in like 5 or 6 other different things, just to always kind of keep money flowing in and coming in. So that way, because again, if I don't work, we don't eat.
Yeah.
But it very much is, I say all that to say, regardless, it is very much possible. You just have to just sit back, be creative. Don't talk to everybody about this journey, and especially the beginning. That will detour you so much. It just will. It will dampen your spirit, and it will cause you to have self-doubt and low confidence in doing this. But the fact of the matter is that God bless you with your children. You are a steward over them. And I truly believe that we know what's best for our children at the end of the day. So you're going to make the experience for them what's necessary for them and for your family.
Yeah, I think you had some really good nuggets in there, but it never occurred to me to put them in after school program or the YMCA or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
It never occurred to me. That takes care of that whole socialization.
2 o'clock, 2 to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
They gone.
I've never thought of that. Have you, Kimberly? I've never considered
No,
that.
I'm like,
yeah, I have never considered that. That's good. That's good. Pavi, thank you for joining us, guys, here on the panel. So we have Cassandra here with us in the Zoom room. We've got Thea in the room as well. We have Jan and we have Pavi. Pavi asked if someone wanted to know how to learn teaching styles and learning styles, how would they figure that out? So what I'll tell you is she may have some more information, but it's a simple Google assessment for me. There is assessments and they're all the same. It doesn't matter which one you do. They all are the same. They give you the same response and the same answer. And you can type in learning style quiz, free learning style quiz, and a bunch will pull up. Just pick one. You can also type in free teaching style quiz and a bunch will pop up. And if you Google, once you determine what you have, what your style is, Google it. There's a bunch of information on the different learning styles and the different teaching styles and how they work. And so that's a key piece. A lot of people never mention learning styles, first of all, but most people never mention teaching styles. And I'm big on, you have to put it together. You can't, if your child's a visual learner, you can't give them written work and expect it to work. Like that's not gonna happen. And if you're good at visual teaching, well, that's not what it is. But if you're an auditory type person and then you go and do kinesthetic stuff, it's not gonna fit. You're not gonna be in your zone or your element or whatever the case may be. So what else did you say? Did you have another way that you could do it?
If you guys go to my YouTube channel, I actually have videos that break it down. The 2 top videos that I always tell people to go look at too is, are you ready to homeschool? And then is your child ready to be homeschooled? And then also checking out the learning styles and then also the teaching styles. Okay. So I do have 4 different videos that will break that down to make it easier for you to figure it out. And kind of ask yourself those questions that you may not think about. To help you kind of determine, if this is a journey that you actually want to take,
Okay, so can you do me a favor and either put your YouTube link in the group here?
Yeah.
On this particular live so that they can go and check that out later on.
Okay.
And then let's see, Jan says, how young can we use aftercare? So how do you know how young they can use that?
Yes, so aftercare is pre-K through 12, age 12. So thinking of like literally pre-K, kindergarten through 5th grade.
Okay.
And then after 12, they can go to the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA.
Okay. And I want you to be mindful too, that especially if you're participating in the local school system, the public school system, that some laws prevent you from doing that. So for here in Texas, although they're trying to get us this now, they're trying to mess with us right now, we can't participate in public school activities. We're considered a private school here in Texas. And so just be aware, but that doesn't mean that there isn't, like she said, a YMCA or even maybe a
private
daycare that's willing to allow your child to participate in that, okay? Thady says they take babies at the local YMCA my kids used to volunteer to help with the babies. Okay, so they take even the young ones, so that's good too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So let me look in the comments. And
Even
see
looking
who's
at
in
your
here.
gym,
Yeah.
if you want to get a workout in, you know, just kind of, you know, again, you have to be creative.
Yeah, I
will
think you're
definitely
right.
say that, being creative. Yeah.
You literally have to think outside the box, like, because I never
Yeah.
considered that. I never considered that.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in the Facebook group. We've got Shar, who is a sponsor of the conference. We've got Bev, and then Lakeisha's in here, of course. Shar says, hey, ladies. Lakeisha says, welcome to day 3, everyone. Janaea says, hey, mamas. Bev says, hey. Let's see. Sade says, I'm not a single mom either, but I feel like one most days. My husband works a lot, so I can kind of relate to. Yeah, I get that. Jazzy says, hey, ladies. Theodie says, love both of these two speakers. Shar says, absolutely. You have to learn your kids' learning styles. Yes, another homeschool or another planner girl. I love it. Thea says, yep, in my state, we can participate in school activities. It's illegal in some states. And Shantae says, I'm a single mom and I cringe when I hear the combos about moms not having their kids with them 24/7. And so I think that's kind of a personal thing. Like, my kids are 17, 14, and 11. They're not trying to be with me 24/7. They trying to,
Right.
like, so, I mean, I think that's just a matter of, I think when they're younger, maybe it would be more important to me for them to be around me a lot of the time, but not 24/7. What do y'all think about, what do you think about that, Kimberly?
Well, Billy is with me 24/7 because we have no other outside family. But we have to have boundaries in our house. Like when mama needs quiet time, mama needs to be alone. I need you to go play. And like I said last night, I do some stuff that's probably controversial to a lot of parents. You will have unlimited screen time, and I don't care what you think about that. But if I need some quiet time, I will unlock his Nintendo Switch, unlock the the parent controls are still on there, but the time controls, and it's go do your stuff. Don't bother me. I'm busy.
What I say last night, get it how you live, right? Get it how you live. All right, let's see. The comments in the group are on fire, y'all. Let's see. Thea, let me just say, honey, Sean, the homeschool guru's eyes are fire. Thank you, Thea. Thea says, my kids love the YMCA. Shar says, me either. I'm about to look up our local YMCA. Yeah, you just opened up a whole can of worms. That was
sure
amazing. Malika says, knowing this helps big time. Listen, because it never occurred to me. And then Lakeisha put her YouTube channel in there, so y'all go check out those videos. She said 4 learning styles, teaching styles. Are you ready to homeschool?
Are you ready to homeschool?
And
is your child ready to be
there
homeschooled?
You go. She said, check those out. Shantae says a lot of churches also have Mother's Day out programs. That's true. Jaquinty said, hey, ladies. And then Malika said, when I was in Dallas last year, my daughter went to Boys and Girls Club 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. and after school 3 to 7 p.m. Yeah, I mean, listen, the services are there, but it just never.
Yeah. And even looking at the colleges and the technical schools that have early childhood education programs, a lot of those students, when they're in the last semester, the final semester of their schooling, their education, they have to get outside credit, right, of hands-on putting their learning to the test. You can also hire them to come in and pay them little to nothing in exchange for credit. So that way you could be at home. So like for me, I would have them come in for maybe a few hours a week while I got some stuff done and they tend it to the kids. So there's definitely, I mean, I utilize as many free resources as I possibly can to keep the costs down. But yeah.
Second. Pause. You were talking technical school, right? And I was thinking maybe to teach or maybe to join, but you're saying to help you with the kids? Something completely different?
Yeah, bring them in and allow them to help. Because again, they're always looking for credit. And a lot of times we don't think of those fields as a way that we can bring them in to help us in our day-to-day lives and what we're doing.
Right. So they could
even down to business.
Say they were doing diesel repair, something like that. They could come in and do something kind of teach.
Right. So think of almost kind of like an apprentice type thing, but it's always going to be in their last semester of learning.
Yeah.
And they need to get credit. So they need to get so many hours where they're in the field, putting that knowledge of what they've learned for the past 2 or 3 years to the test. Right.
Wow.
And so you meet up with the advisor of that department at the colleges, and yeah, you get the permission, you set up the schedule, you sign off, you submit it to the teachers every or the director every week usually, and there you go, you got your help.
Listen, Kim, listen, I'm like, are y'all in the group? Are y'all listening to this? Are y'all hearing this? I have never heard this before. Listen,
I know, I'm contacting Jackson State next
listen,
semester.
now this is a single parent panel. However, Lakeisha done dropped a bunch of knowledge on
Really?
like a bunch of knowledge on all of us. Listen, Thea said, "Yep, I heard it. I went to I've heard it. I went to a technical college."
So she never
heard of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Shar said this session is fire already. Listen, I mean, you just done blew my whole. And listen, outsourcing. You were talking about outsourcing.
It'd be so funny because I be in there.
You cutting in and out. Is that mine?
Yeah.
That was her.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now
We can hear you now.
Okay. I be thinking that everyone knows this, honestly.
I did not know that.
And listen, my kids were going to a technical college, a local technical college every Thursday to experience what they were doing. But it never occurred to me to ask if the hours that they had to use or gain, if they could do that here. And listen, I've even created a lesson for my kids to go to a auto body repair and like, spend time with them. And that was part of their lesson on learning how to do that. But it never occurred to me to go to a technical college and
literally just sit down with the director head of that department and just have the conversation with them and let them know, hey, I'm a homeschool parent. This is what I'm doing. Do you have any students that you would recommend to come in, that I can be able to bring to my home to do X, Y, Z in exchange for credit, And then you can just pay them a stipend because you can't really call it like salary or anything like that, but you can provide with a stipend. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
So basically, I mean, you can even look at it as an internship. So they can do an internship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so they'll get the credit, and then usually at the end of their cycle, because I'll do it, based on the quarter, because down here in Georgia it's quarter system. So I do it based on the quarter, and then I will give them a stipend at the end of the quarter.
Child.
Yeah.
Listen.
And exactly, Thea. Yeah, you can do the same for your business, because I've done it for my social media, for marketing, for different things. Yeah.
Listen, y'all, listen, y'all, these panels are getting better and better by the day. They're getting better and better by the day, because this one shocked me. I mean, I do consider myself, the guru. However, none of these two things never occurred to me. That is amazing. Let's see. Thea says, my kids used to go to the gym for the child hours for like 4 hours a day. I would work in the cafe or the gym. You could do the same for your business, Sean. College students for your business who need credit. I had to do that for my business degree at JSU. Listen, and then Janaea says, or Shantae says, dropping knowledge. And Janaea says, she is dropping it. Like,
Yes.
Listen, I ain't got nothing else to say. Listen, this your panel. How about that? I mean, Kimberly, did you have anything to add? Because I sure enough don't.
Not on that. Like, I'm still soaking in all the knowledge. I did not realize that.
Lakeisha, you like, I'm wig blown.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, because the basics, right? When people say you're a single parent home, you can homeschool, you set your own schedule, the basics, right? So you set your own schedule. So if you set it according to what you can and can't move around. So for instance, say you have to work a normal 9 to 5, then if your child is not independent, you don't necessarily, do schooling during that time. You would do schooling in the evening time. Like, we all know those basic rules.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's not necessarily true, because you can hire a tutor.
Exactly. You can hire a tutor.
You can hire a tutor. Now you can reach out to the teachers, as long as it doesn't interfere with their contract with the public school system. You can reach out to some teachers who may not be fully working in the school system right now, depending on the state that you're in. You can reach out to them. So there's always workarounds to everything. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, Pavi, she left me speechless. Like, when I tell y'all, homeschooling is thinking outside of the box. I
It
mean,
is very.
she has took me out the box, across the street, around the corner, to the Starbucks, down by the Target. Like, because I'm sitting here thinking, just this tip that you're giving gives so much insight to the world of homeschooling in general, because you can, again, outsource, like you're saying, or you can,
Right.
you're concerned about the socialization. We talked about that the first day. This right here will help the socialization, like even being able to
Absolutely.
volunteer. So say, for instance, my daughter is 17 years old, child. She don't fool with kids though. But if she did, okay, she's 17 years old. Maybe there's somewhere where they would allow her to volunteer, and she would gain, you know, that connection with the people she's volunteering with. And then also the little kids that she's helping. Like, what? Look at where you been.
Yeah, I mean, even with that, you can look at nonprofit organizations. So that's one of the things I have my nonprofit here in Atlanta. And so even with that, you can have them come in and you can have them to volunteer with nonprofit organizations. My daughter had did that for like pretty much every summer for like years. So there's definitely, it's just a matter of just kind of looking outside the box, joining as many different communities like this. There's not really one homeschool consultant or resource person that you need to, that you just have to go to for everything. I want you to have a whole directory of homeschool, you know, consultants who can give you and shed light on different things. You want to have a Rolodex of just resources upon resources upon resources.
Yeah, because you never know when you're going to need it. You never know when you're going to need it. Shantae's in the comments in the group, and she said, could the tutor be an education major needing observation or teaching hours?
Exactly.
I would think so. I would think so. Now you would probably have to ask them to confirm that. But see, like I'm in a teachers group in North Texas, in one of the teaching groups, and you know, they send all kind of stuff. People go in the group looking for hours. They say it all the time. Hey, I've got to get these hours. Is there somewhere I can work for a few hours? It never occurred to me to say, I have a 11-year-old and I need somebody to teach them math. Would you willing to be able to do that? Like,
because that way it takes it off your plate. Because the thing about it is that you just want to be, like I had said yesterday, you want to be intentional with your time. We only have 24 hours in a day, right? And you just want to be intentional with that. And you don't want every single hour of that day to be consumed with either quote unquote learning time and then work time as well. So you want to have fun with this. And just, definitely think outside the box with it. And don't feel like you have to, it's not going to look like what anybody else looks like. Because people ask me for the longest, how was I doing it? And that after school, I'm like, where the kids at? They are at after school care. And it was like $45 per child. Okay, that's an investment, you know, because it gave me that's part of self-care for me. I love my children to pieces, but I also needed that time to just come down, just to relax for a minute. And sometimes they would go to after school care, and it was a time I just didn't do nothing. I just literally I needed to rest and just relax and decompress. So
also, you're talking about the fees of the $45 a month. I always tell people to tell them you're homeschooling, you're a teacher, because you are a teacher.
Right. And you'll get a discount. That's how I got it so low. Yeah.
And then I also tell people flat out, especially if you're a single parent, listen, I'm a homeschooler. For us, we have one income, or it's just me. I cannot afford to pay for my 3 kids $100 a month. Is there something I can do? Can I volunteer once a week, or whatever the case may be? The very first year my son played soccer, if y'all familiar with any type of sports in Texas, first of all, they're crazy. They're all crazy and they're expensive. And the first time my son played competitive soccer, I think they wanted like $2,000 for the year. And I was like, listen, I got 3 kids and I'm not about that life. Can I volunteer? They put me on the board so that my son could play for free. So ask those questions, come up with those, hey, I'm a homeschool mom. Is there anything I can do to get a discount or whatever the case may be to make this better? Listen, I don't have anything else to say. Lakeisha, you got the floor. Kimberly, do you have anything to say?
I'm taking notes from Lakeisha. Like, I had a list of stuff to say, but no.
You got the floor. If you done.
Well, what was you going to say, Kimberly?
Yeah.
No, Lakeisha, this your show now. I'm taking notes. I'm like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's these are all tips that we can use as homeschool moms, not necessarily as single parent, but
Oh yeah,
definitely for single
absolutely.
parents. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I like I said, if Lakeisha, do you have anything else? You want to drop a nugget? What, I got nothing else. This gonna be the fastest panel we done had the entire session, because you done wreck shop, like real talk.
I know with this. Ooh.
Yeah, the only other thing is that I have come across over the years of consulting is the transcript part, that parents kind of drop the ball on sometimes when, you know, life happens, anything happens in life, and for whatever reason, the kids have to transition back into public school, is making sure that you're keeping good records. So a app that I use, it's web-based. It's called Homeschool Manager. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. But this is online where you're able to put in not only your lesson plans, and it tracks all your lesson plans. You can do it for as many children as you have, 1 child, 10 children, it doesn't matter. But you can put in all your information in there, and it will track and keep up and provide a transcript, progress reports, all of that. So literally you can just click the button and have it print out. And that way you can provide that and submit that to the school. That app that I have been using for the past 7 years has been absolutely amazing, because it keeps everything organized for me. So where I'm able to put in what the things that I want to go over with the kids every single day. I print it out so that way they know what we are talking about and what we're going to be covering, even if it's a field trip, even if it's a discussion, if it's a task, if it's something that I want them to do, I'm able to put it in there. You can track their volunteer hours. So if they go volunteer somewhere, you can put that on there. The books that they read, you can enter that in there as well. But the biggest component that I love for it is that transcription part. So that way you're not having to make this in Word or Excel or anything like that. It's automated. So as you're putting in the lessons, and you put them in by subject, you're able to put in their grades, and it's automatically populating that on the back end. So literally whenever you need to print out a transcript, and it's not just for public schools. So say if they're, like to Sean's point, enrolling in a program, and maybe they want to see their transcript or see their latest progress report, you can print that out at any given time. And it has the name of your homeschool. You're the principal, obviously, and the teacher, all the information on there, and it's perfectly fine. Submit it to the school or whoever needs it, and you're good to go. Yeah. So, and it's also good when you're getting ready to enroll your children into college and they needed transcripts from your homeschool. Right. That is perfect for you to have that as well.
Okay. So Pavi asked, when do you start keeping a transcript?
If you start in kindergarten, right? Yeah.
Yeah, from the beginning, from kindergarten. I say from kindergarten, even though depending on what state that you're in, kindergarten is not considered a grade. I know here in Georgia it's considered first grade through 12th. But I just kind of like to keep it just for, even if it's for your own personal records anyway, and just to kind of even get into the habit of it. So even if kindergarten is not considered a grade in your state, it will still be a good testing and training ground for you to kind of get acclimated and used to it. So that way, by the time they enter first grade, you're already used to entering in that information. And then again, I would give them their progress report cards at the end of each semester. They get super excited. So literally you're kind of doing some of the same things that they would do when they bring home their report cards. You're able to track that, and they're able to see their own progress and celebrate that as well.
Say keep records regardless, because you never know what is going to happen. You never know if the state will come knocking at your door. You know, I've had people upset that, you know, this is me personally, upset that I am a single, successful, working homeschooling mama. They called CPS on me and said Billy was not in school.
Oh, wow.
And this is the thing. The people who know me know all I talk about is homeschooling. Thea is on the panel. Thea would tell you, because she's been to my house. The moment you walk through my doors, Thea, what does my house look like? Put it in the comments.
Well, we can kind of see it in the background.
Contractors. I mean, you can kind of see part in the background. But I've had contractors. I had an electrician come over here because I bought new smart washer and dryers to change the breakers out. The first words out his mouth was, "Ma'am, you got a daycare or a school in here? Where the kids at?" That is everybody's first words when they come through my front doors. So these people were jealous, and they contacted CPS and said, my child was not in school. He was educational neglect. They text me and told me that they contact CPS. So when CPS knocked on my door, I said, "Hello, we've been waiting for you. Come on in." The woman looked around. She said, "Hold on, what address am I at?" I told her my address. She verified it. She said, "Hold up." She called her boss and said, "I thought we got a case for educational neglect because the house I'm in, doesn't look like that. And you know, I told her, I was like, here go all my records. And since I'm actually sitting at my homeschool desk, hold on. I was like, this is from
There you
first grade.
go.
I
Yes.
was like, boom, lady. Here go all my records. This is what we've been learning, this and that. So what happened was 3 weeks later, when she closed the case out that same day, Mississippi Department of Education called me. And they said, according to the caseworkers, they have never walked into a homeschool house that looked like yours. Can you do a workshop and tell and teach our people what to look for when they come into contact with a homeschool parent? And I had to explain to them. I knew the people who called on me did it out of resentment and out of evilness in their heart. They had something going on with them. I said, however, every homeschool family doesn't look like mine. You may not walk in and see a dedicated homeschool classroom. I was like, you may not see charts on the wall. You may not see all of that. However, if you walk into a homeschool family, I should say, Sean, what are your kids learning this week? And you should be able to produce me something.
Nothing, because I told them all they had to do was read.
I know. But you should be able to produce or show me something. And they were like, we have gone in the homes and they couldn't even show me a workbook. I was like, it don't even have to be a workbook. They could have pulled a book off the shelf and say, hey, we've been learning about mammals this week. We went to the aquarium. We went here. And, you know, like I had to train them on how to do it. So my words to them, because I know it may be some of them watching because I have little stalkers. Hey, y'all, I trained CPS how to find y'all. So thank you for calling because I got to teach social workers how to identify homeschool families. So thank y'all so much for that.
Hilarious. So I put the homeschool manager, I put homeschoolmanager.com in the comments here in the Zoom room and in the Facebook group. Let's see, Poppy said, do homeschool students get straight A's since they have more of an opportunity to work on what they learned? Mine don't. Mine rarely get straight A's. No.
Now, let me tell you this, Poppy. Billy is very smart and very exceptional. So you have, you know, we have our things. Sometimes you have to adjust your plan. One thing I had to do was adjust and spend more money out on teaching charts because I use a box curriculum. I bought teaching charts from Dollar Tree and from Target, and I think I got some from School Aids. They didn't line up with his box curriculum. They kind of lined up sort of, but they had additional information on there. And Billy started to fail in health class. Like he will excel. He loves math, science, and history. This semester he's doing health and he started to fail. And I was like, I had to stop. I looked at my teaching style. I used the videos to kind of help me out on teaching. I looked at the videos and then I realized it was the diagrams and those charts that was different. He was learning one way in the book, but when he went to study and the charts on the wall, it had all this additional information. So I was like, do I really want to give this company $58 for some charts? So what I did was, you know, me being that single mama, I pulled out my DSLR camera, I made a flyer and I put it on my page. I said, I'm doing product photography. All the business owners, come bring me your products. I'm going to start taking pictures for your websites. And I did that so I can make the money right quick, go buy them charts because they were out my budget. They weren't even playing for, and did that. But when it comes to them not making all A's, it goes back to checking your learning style because I had to check mine. And for me, it was one simple fix. It was those charts for Billy. But with Billy, he is autistic. He cannot learn in a group setting. He would tell you right away, it's too noisy, it's too many kids in here. He needs to have that one-on-one attention. And that is why he gets all the A's. And I tell people, if I put him in a public school or a private school, he probably wouldn't have A's. Because he'll tell you in a moment, you're too loud. It's too
Yeah. We don't necessarily do grades in our house. The only time we do actual grades is when we're doing testing. And so we don't if I feel like my kid understands the concept well enough, so for me, well enough would be an 80 and above, then I'm good. I'm not going to make them redo it, nothing like that. Now, if they're getting 60s, like close to that 70, I'm like, to me, that's a red flag. You didn't understand it. So we're not going to go back. We're not going to go back over the test, but we're going to go back to the concept and make sure that you understand the concept that we're trying to teach. So we don't necessarily do A's in our house, but it's your homeschool, so you can pick whatever works for you. A's work. Some kids are grade driven, right? They see that A and they're like, yes. My kids don't give a crap. They don't care.
See,
like, are we
the
done?
way grades work in our house, they factor on the video game time.
Oh,
so
okay.
Billy is like, well, what's my grade? I got a 90 here. Go to his little chart in his binder. Oh, okay. I got 30 extra,
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good.
And he doesn't get all A's.
Yeah.
His spelling test, he got an 82, I think.
That's the one that I was rewrite it with your mean
it was sloppy anyway,
Yeah, I gotta stick up for Billy. I don't understand. I stick up for Billy because Billy be on it, but you know what? She sticks up for mine the same way. Let's see.
But he made an 82 on his spelling test.
Pavi says we need a tour, Kim. So if you feel like it later on, go live in the group and show them a tour of your room. Thea said dead.
I got these boxes on the floor.
They don't care. Let's see.
It's gonna be real.
Thea said my students don't get grades, and Jan says I want to try out loop scheduling. Not sure how to implement it. So looping as far as subject looping. What in particular are you speaking of?
What is a loop schedule?
Yeah, we depended on if you wanted to do by subject or by really it's by subject, and if you're going to do like almost kind of like block scheduling in a little bit. You've seen it in the high school.
I think I do. Let me tell y'all something about scheduling.
That's a good idea.
Right here,
it's definitely helpful.
What I live by, like I told y'all in my session, we got a sponsor. Yeah. Not only does she sponsors, but I use her stuff.
Me too. Look,
Amazing planners. Look, Sean got hers
right on my desk. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. And she's in the comments. Shar, if you're still
in the comments.
Yeah, she was. This is mine.
Get yourself a planner. Get your child a planner too.
Yeah,
because I have this is the guide to the running of my house. Everything is on there from all our schedules.
Yeah.
And by us being single moms, I have to plan out my day. So like I said in my sessions, I had to get out of, I got a homeschool from 7 a.m. to 2 o'clock.
Right.
Somebody said, Malika said, we don't care, Kim, tour us. Okay, so Jan, we wrap it. It's 12:45. That went quick. Wow. Okay, so she said as far as and then Pavi also said, we don't care. I want to see the room. So later on, just do a live if you feel comfortable. It's up to you.
I do a live.
Jan said, yes, like subject rotation. So for subject for us, it would be time slots. Like she said, block scheduling. So maybe you spend an hour or 30 minutes on each subject. And then you get let's say a total of 4 hours a day of learning. Okay. And then you do
post it in the group.
Okay. Yeah. And then you do maybe like an hour of math, an hour of science, an hour of history. And then the next day, that's only 3 hours, but you get what I'm saying. The next day you pick up where you left off and go to the next subject. So you continue to cycle through the subjects all the way through each day by day versus you're doing for us, like we do specific subjects on a day. So we do some subjects we do every day, and then Mondays and Wednesdays we do one subject like history, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays we do science. And so instead of that, you're looping through all of the subjects just day by day, picking up where you left off. Did anybody else want to add on that?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we did before we started schooling. We were doing that where we only did like science and social studies Mondays and Wednesdays, and then math and language arts Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Friday we did field trip Fridays. So we would pick a different place to go to and kind of whatever we learned through the week, because I'm theme based. Then I would find something in the city and we would do a field trip, on Friday. So yeah.
Jan, ask some more questions in the group if you need help, because there's definitely information out there. Let me get in these comments here. Let's see. Kizzy says, knowing your child's learning style is key. Ruby says, this is awesome. Yes, mine don't care about the stickers and stuff like that. They don't care. They love video games. Kamisha says, speaking of learning styles, does anyone have recommendations on resources for figuring out their child style? So Lakeisha put a link, a YouTube link in the comments in this video here. Check out her YouTube link because she's got 4 videos that she wants you to watch. One is, are you ready to homeschool? Is your child ready to homeschool? Learning style, and then teaching style. So 4 different videos. I suggest that you go on Google and just flat out Google free learning style quiz or free teaching style quiz, and it'll give you the information that you need, and then you can research whatever it is that you are. Thea says, Charmazing life planners are life. Let's see. Kizzy says, get your child a planner. Thea says, those are the planners they have. Charmazing life planners. 4 hours total of learning is what she's talking about as far as the loop schedule. Janaea says, thank you, ladies. Great info. I'm over here taking notes like, what? Listen, Janaea, me too.
Me too.
Opened up a whole can of worms. Listen, a whole can of worms. Malika says, you know, this planner may be the key to my homeschool woes. We will both be getting them. Yeah, I don't know if Char's here. If not, I will have Char post again, or I will post and show you Char's website. She has custom planners that you guys can look at. Homeschool, I always just get a blank planner because I have so much going on, and I use it for my content as far as my business. And I also use it as homeschooling and doctor's appointments and all that good stuff. But she has specific ones if you want to do that way. Ruby says, any codes for the planners? I want one. Ruby, check the swag bag. She's got something in the swag bag. Okay. Let's see. And the swag bag is in the conference page, in the actual website page, tailormadehomeschooling.com. Jazzy says, I really need to figure out my kids' learning styles too. Google, y'all, and then go watch Lakeisha's videos.
Yeah.
Kamisha says, thank you. Malika says, thank you, Lakeisha.
You're welcome.
Jazzy says, sounds like I need a planner too. Let's see. There you go. Thea put the website in there, and then so did Char. Char put her website in there. Yes, please post the planner link. They're both above your comment there, Jazzy. And Char says, I'm back. Had to get some lunch. Okay, so y'all check it out. Listen. This was a good one. Y'all, it gets better. It gets better. I'm so excited. Like, it gets better. This was a good one. This was a good one. Last night, y'all left me and I was wiping tears away as we got off. And then when we got off of here, I was shedding tears at my desk. And I'm like, girl, get yourself together. But I just felt so good about what we were giving and presenting heartfelt information. Yeah. And so, y'all, this is getting good, right? We got one more panel to go for the day. Give me a nugget, Kimberly. Give me a nugget, Lakeisha, and tell them where they can follow you or get in touch with you. And then we're out of here.
Okay.
So you go first, Kimberly.
Okay. My nugget is always remember to plan, because I'm a planner girl, but you know, plan, things can happen. Your homeschool day can change. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You can find me on IG at the Southern Mocha Homeschooling Mom.
All right. And Lakeisha.
Always going to be your life. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure.
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Always remember that your homeschool is not going to look like anyone else's. Just like your life does not look like anyone else's, and to have fun. Above all else, have fun along this journey. Have fun with your children. They are only going to be children this young one time. They have the rest of their lives to be adults. So beyond all the curriculum and everything that kind of goes with that, enjoy actually the journey of spending that quality time with them and exploring this with them. Invite them into their learning, into what it is they're going to experience and learn as well. Make them a part of it. It's not something that you have to necessarily dictate over them, but you're doing something alongside with them. So even if there's something that you don't learn, it's an opportunity for you to learn alongside of them. And you guys can reach me at all social media platforms at Real Moms of Homeschooling. If you want to if you want to get access to my online resource directory, it's realmomsofhomeschooling.com.
Y'all, listen, I don't have a nugget because Lakeisha took them all. Okay. I don't have anything to say. Y'all know who I am. We'll be back again tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for the last live panel of the conference. Y'all, listen, I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to say.
Okay.
All right, y'all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will catch y'all again tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye, guys.
Have a good weekend.
All right.